You've got a new album coming out. How are you feeling about it?
I feel great. I feel really, really good. Yeah.
I was watching the video for Outside the Outside, and it looks like, because I know there was like some talk about in the press release about house parties in the South Florida, and it looked very house party-y.
Yeah.
I lived in Florida briefly, and when I was growing
Oh
up.
yeah, where?
In outside of Miami, in Village Green, the name of the place was. It's a
Village
small
Green.
suburb. Yeah, it's not much to get excited about, but it was there.
No, but I want to know because I know a lot about South Florida. I mean, I grew up there, so I'm still curious what Village Green is.
This was way back in 1964-ish. So,
Whoa.
yeah, I did sit through one of the major hurricanes of the time, so that was exciting.
Which hurricane was that?
Geez, I do know the name of it, and now it'll come to me as we're talking, I'm sure. But it was one of those that you can look up in Wikipedia.
Right.
Yeah, it was a good one. I just remember all the sidewalks covered in worms afterwards because the ground was so saturated that the worms couldn't stay in the ground. So you walk along the sidewalk and it was just worms as far as the eye could see.
That's a visual. That's a really
disgusting.
A really, really intense visual.
Well, there you go. So tell me about your house parties in South Florida.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, what you see in that video is a lot of friends of my family that they had met in Florida, and some people from my family moved from Ecuador to New York in the 60s. And then, my parents met in New York. They moved there separately.
Right.
My mom grew up in Manhattan, my dad grew up in Long Island, and then then they moved to South Florida. And South Florida, I would call it the capital of Latin America. There's
sure. Yep.
There, and so it was easy for them to converge with people, at least like finding community through music and food and language, and sharing some cultural identity ideas. And so a lot of the things you see in that video are just folks from different places, really, folks from all over Latin America hanging out at my house. We're friends that I grew up with, family friends.
Oh, is that old home footage?
Yeah, it is.
I thought there might be. I didn't know for sure. That's cool.
Yeah.
And so did you have a hand in putting it together? Did you kind of go through your old stuff?
Yeah, I had come across these tapes a while ago, and I had just transferred them on a whim.
Yep.
And then I was going through them and I was like, oh wow, this would match up beautifully. And I had a lot of the sentiment that I was like wanting to express with the song. I thought it was really fun.
Cool. So this is your first album for 4AD. It's just coming out, right? You've done some previous records. So does the label have anything to do with the content? Do they kind of influence anything that we hear on this record?
I don't think so.
I
mean, not necessarily. I mean, like, yeah, it's really cool. I mean, to be on 4AD, I think it's really awesome. My take on working with a label is that it's such a unique experience because they are so they have so many resources. They're such a large label. They've kind of like impacted so many different people and all different kinds of places. And it's really exciting for me. What it was like, oh, amazing. I can actually, not that I've always done this with every record, but I was like, I can just do whatever I want and whatever I feel like, and have more people be exposed to something that's even closer to me,
right?
In terms of like, how I feel in a very like pure way. Like, let me just give them everything, my full expression in one record. And that's what I wanted to do.
Cool. Now I know you spent some time in Marfa, Texas last year. Did that have anything to do with the record?
That had a lot to do with the record. Yeah, that was a huge influence. I mean, we flew to Marfa. My wife and I had a commission to work on at an art institution there called Ballroom Marfa.
And she's a visual artist, is she?
Yeah.
Yep.
And so then we got there, I think like March 4th, and then I don't know, March 6th, the world locked down.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
So it was a really like,
we're locked down currently here, so it's driving us crazy.
I heard, yeah. Yeah, so that happened, and we were stuck, and then we're seeing and hearing what's happening in New York, and the nearest city to Marfa is 5 hours away. It's El Paso,
right?
And and then Marfa's like super far west Texas. It's in the middle of the desert.
Yep.
And so we decided to stay. We stayed for
But
6
it's got a pretty cool thing happening there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been there, but I've been reading about it and hearing about people going there.
Yeah, there's some cultural weight there, because there was like, the history attached to Donald Judd. He went and bought a lot of land there, and made a bunch of sculptures there, and so it became a place where like he was inviting a lot of his contemporaries, and so there's a history of that for sure, but in itself the nature there is like, you can't top that. I mean, like someone can make a sculpture, but every day and every morning and every night, like you kind of have the most. It's kind of like the show stealer happens during that time, and it really does. It had an effect on me, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so when people, do you have something in mind that you want listeners to either take or get from the record when they hear it?
Just listen to each song.
Yeah,
honestly, and not in like an arrogant way. I think I really tried to make each song its own world, its
Right.
own universe. It wasn't the album wasn't made to kind of fit into a theme of like a larger umbrella concept.
Right.
I was literally trying to make each song its own little world that was tethered or connected in some kind of way that really meant something in some sort of dialogue between each other, as opposed to having songs that were connecting the dots for a larger picture. And
Right.
I think that does, but I think I think each song is its own thing.
Cool. So tell me about the world of Gemini and Leo, because I've been watching that and listening.
Yeah. Gemini and Leo is a song I wrote. It was like I was writing this like really funny, it was kind of like more of an artier, weirder, abstract song. And I started singing Gemini and Leo because my wife's astrological sign is Gemini and I'm a Leo. And
hey, I'm a Leo too.
Excellent. When's your birthday?
July 26th.
Okay, I'm August 4th.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I was just excited. It was just fun. I was like, it was more of like a way to an exercise to write something. And then I started to really dig the melody, and I was like, oh wow, I think I'm gonna have to finish writing this. And
Good on you.
And so in that world, it's not necessarily just about her and I. It was like that was the inspiration, but then it kind of just like traverses a lot of like different themes. And the video in itself was fun to make because it was like I had talked to the director and I was like, I just want it to be like two figures in forms that aren't like humans, and they don't represent humans. It's just something that they're just having fun exploring this like colorful, like weird world where it's like somewhat psychedelic, somewhat surreal, but it's like converging and moving around in like the oddest of ways.
Cool. And music wise, like I noticed there's a nice little string coda at the end of it. So these little things that happen production wise, are they all from you, or do you have other people you're working with thinking of these things, or how's it work?
That a lot of the string arrangements were done by a friend of mine, Trey Pollard, who does a lot of the string arrangements for the whole Space Bomb crew. I don't know if you know, like Matthew E. White. And
I talked to Matthew just last month, I think it was.
Okay, yeah. So they're that whole crew, we're really tight too. We're good friends.
Cool.
And so
I didn't see that coming. That's cool.
Yeah. So he had worked on that song in its early stages when I had made like the really abstract version. So it's really funny. He put strings on it, and the strings were even pushing it further and further away from like a very like steady feeling song. And then I changed the song completely when I went to Marfa. I like rearranged it and had new drums, and I was kept the strings, but put the strings in places where it felt a little bit more kind of like supporting the newer version of the song.
Gotcha. And is it Jen Wassner who's playing the bass on that?
Yeah, Jen Wasner. She plays from, she's from Wyoke, but Flock of Dimes.
Yeah. How'd you rope her into it?
Jen is an old friend of mine, and we've done a few things together. She actually played on my last record. She played guitar on This Is How You Smile on one or two songs maybe. And she's just always somebody that I really love working with. She's just got we just match, like our sensibilities really align.
Cool, cool. I see you like working with oranges as well. I saw the video where you
Yeah,
like the orange. So
I love it.
what's your relationship with the fruit?
So that song La Naranja
Yeah.
means the orange in
Yep.
Spanish, and I in one respect, like it's a really like heavy. It's something that I grew up with. Like I grew up with orange trees everywhere around me in
Sure.
Florida,
Yeah.
and but in the song, I'm thinking a lot about just the intensity of what's going on with the world, just kind of like our overconsumption, and also like the the idea of like us having these scarcities, you know, like even just seeing what happened last year, you know, when like everybody woke up and then there was no toilet paper in the United States.
We've had days
And
like that here too.
And it's funny, but it's so silly to see how much little things actually do matter. And something like, you know, I was thinking about like the abundance of us like having like all these fruits everywhere all the time that just grew wildly, you know, in Florida, and how it was just so easy to have it, and then how easy it is to like possibly not have it. And I think that's what I'm thinking about a lot with that song for
Cool.
sure.
Right. Now I see you played at a place called the Hopscotch Festival in Raleigh just recently. Was that your first gig in a while?
It was, yeah. It was the first gig since 2020, and I played in Guadalajara before that, and it was fun. People were very excited to be there. People were very receptive, which was a relief.
And were you playing songs from the new album?
A couple, yeah, just a few. It was a different show. You know, I'm still kind of sorting the live show scenario right now in terms of like a band. So I have this other show that I've done where like I have these costumed creatures that we made.
Oh,
called the
right.
Tin Animals, and they dance on stage with me, and it's a fun show. It's a very special show, and I really enjoy doing it.
So did it feel different doing a live show post COVID or during COVID or whatever it is these days?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're still in a pandemic for sure, but it's strange because we all know we're still in it, and it's strange because there's so much out there that everybody knows, but nobody. I don't know. It's just confusing more than anything, and all you can hope is that everyone's patient with each other.
Cool. Now you have a track. Forgive my mispronunciation. I'm sure Augusto or Gusto.
No, Agosto, August.
Augusto. I'm working on it eventually with a gentleman who you toured with back in 2016, collaborating with you on that. Who's Buscabula? Is it
Buscabulla? It's a duo. Yeah. Buscabulla is two friends of mine.
Oh, okay.
They're a couple, Raquel and Luis, and that's their project. It's called Buscabulla. Yeah.
Right. That, yes. And so tell me about that one a little bit, if you can.
Yeah, they're old friends of mine. They just put out a record last year on Domino, and I did some arrangements for that record, some like string arrangements, some other stuff, but also I've sang on a few of their other songs, and they're just really good friends of mine. We just trust each other so well, and like I love their work, and it was just such an easy process. I was out in Marfa, and I'd been writing a lot on a Fender Rhodes out there that a friend had at a studio, and that one just kind of came to me one day, and I knew immediately that they were going to be on it, and they live in Puerto Rico, and so I sent them the music, and they nailed it. There was like no notes. They knew exactly what to do. I just told them sing and play bass, right? And it came back in a really beautiful way. And that same song, I actually had a very specific vision. My really good friend John Herndon, the drummer for Tortoise, he played on that song too.
Cool.
Yeah.
And so when you say you had a distinct vision, sonically, you mean? Yeah,
for sure. Like, you know, I heard as I was playing the song, I heard the you know, the texture and the feel of what I wanted the drums to be like, and I knew that he was the person to do it.
Okay. I believe it was Hurricane Cleo I was in.
Oh, whoa. Okay. I don't know. That's an older one.
Yeah, 63 or 64. It was a monster. Such a
Jeez.
weird feeling when the eye of the hurricane goes over because it gets really still and weird. But,
It's freaky.
yeah, anyway. So you got plans for the 22nd when the record comes out? What are you going to do?
Yeah. On the 20th, I'm going to be playing a show in Brooklyn.
Oh, great.
And yeah. And then the following month, I'm going to be in Miami playing a show at the band show on the North Miami Beach band show.
Right.
And those are really that's the sum of the shows for this year. And then next year we're planning some tours out. Gonna go play Primavera in Barcelona and then
Right.
Porto and some more stuff we're working out right now.
And when you're playing in different areas of the world, do you have to adjust your live set to where you are?
I don't know. I mean, I just kind of play what feels right in the moment for sure.
Where are you playing in Brooklyn?
It's a place called Public Records. It's more of like a release party / conversation. It's a really tiny place, but it's amazing. It's got these amazing it's a sound room is what they call it, and it's got
Right.
these giant dub style like sound systems inside of it, and it's really beautiful. And it's like
cool.
and they have amazing food there. It's a very like kind of
Nice.
posh but really cool place, you know.
I have a friend who's a Kiwi, but she lives in New York, New Jersey area. So I send her off to the gigs from people who are having these because I can't go. So it's kind of living vicariously through her experience. So I'll send her off to yours then.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, definitely. Have you ever been to New Zealand?
No, I want to go. I can't wait to go.
You need to come. Yeah. Well, we're a bit in lockdown now, but I think we're getting to the other end of it. It's got to be. So
Good.
Hopefully we'll start getting some international acts in here. Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, because I think it will go down well down here, especially summertime is January here. So
I would love to come. I'd love to come in January. That'd be awesome.
very cool. Well, thank you for talking to me about all this. It's fantastic. And sharing
Thanks,
it all.
Marty.
Yeah, my pleasure. So hopefully we'll see you down here sometime.
Yeah. Take care. I love your scene with all your records back there.
Yeah, I got a few. I got carried away.
Good looking
in the other
scene.
room.
Amazing, man.
All right. Thank you. Have a great day.
You as well. Have a wonderful day.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.